You're going to take this gun and hide it underneath your apron. And you take your place in line with the others, and you wait. When you shake the president's hand, you kill him. You ever shot a man before?
Once. You only have time for one shot, Ernesto, so put it right there.
Harry Truman once said, "The only thing new in the world is the history you don't know."
Here's a bulletin from CBS News. In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded.
Well, here's some history you don't know.
I've got the world on a string.
Frank Sinatra was the biggest star in the world, and his friends were the biggest Italian hoodlums in the country. So Frank was the made guy of Hollywood. He had fame, money, and muscle. But Sinatra still wanted something he didn't have: respectability.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
JFK was a natural playboy who was infatuated with Hollywood, and Sinatra became his facilitator. Frank was more than happy to hook up the future president with an endless array of beautiful starlets, including the ultimate starlet, Miss Marilyn Monroe. Sinatra wanted to be JFK, and JFK wanted to be Sinatra. So it made for the perfect friendship, at least temporarily. It also made for the perfect combination and the perfect setup for what came next. Joseph P. Kennedy was one of the richest men in America, and he wanted his kid to be president. And he was willing to spend and do whatever it took to make that happen, including partnering up with America's biggest gangster.
Can you tell us anything about your operation?
Decline to answer because I honestly believe my answer might tend to incriminate me.
Whether if you have opposition from anybody that you dispose of them by having them stuffed in a trunk, is that what you do, Mr. Giancana?
Decline to answer because I honestly believe my answer might tend to incriminate.
Sam Momo Giancana was the acting boss of the outfit, the Chicago Mafia. And the outfit controlled not only all the gambling, narcotics, and street crime in their own city, but also the 3 biggest hotel casinos in Las Vegas. But more importantly to this story, the Chicago outfit also controlled upwards of 60 labor unions across the country. And of course, Sam Giancana was a very close personal friend to Frank Sinatra.
I came to the state of West Virginia, which has fewer numbers of my co-religionists than any state in the Union. I would not have come here if I didn't feel that I was going to get complete opportunity to run for office as a fellow American in this state. I would not run for it if in any way I didn't feel that I could do the job. So I come here today saying that I think that this is an issue which not.
In order for JFK to capture his party's nomination, the state of West Virginia was a must-win. But in 1960, an Irish Catholic rich kid from Boston had no chance in hell to win the coal miners' vote, unless he had a little help. So Joe Kennedy asked Sinatra to ask his friend Momo Giancana to lend a hand.
I decline to answer.
What ground?
On the grounds that it may tend to incriminate or lead me into something.
But the Kennedys weren't very popular with the boys back in Chicago.
Mr. Heitler was burned to death, was he?
I decline to answer. I decline to answer. I decline to answer.
So Sam Giancana absolutely refused, until Sinatra introduced his gangster pal to this beautiful young singer named Phyllis McGuire. Giancana was immediately smitten and finally agreed to help, but only as a personal favor to his pal Frank.
que con combatientes cubanos podrá contar el movimiento revolucionario en cualquier rincón de la tierra.
But Giancana already had political dealings of his own. The CIA had secretly recruited Giancana and Johnny Roselli to assassinate Cuban dictator Fidel Castro. Skinny D'Amato was Giancana's guy in Atlantic City, and he was sent to West Virginia with a suitcase full of cash to be delivered directly to the president of the Coal Miners Union. Then guess what? The union endorsed Kennedy, and Kennedy won the West Virginia primary, which put him over the top and locked up the 1960 Democratic nomination for president.
To all my cousins, brothers, sisters, and also campaign workers from Massachusetts and from West Virginia. Thank you.
One down, one to go.
Come on and vote for Kennedy, and we'll come out on top.
Sinatra and his Rat Pack campaigned hard for Kennedy. Vegas shows, countless personal appearances across the country, and even a hit record produced by Frank himself. And Sinatra had no problem asking his Hollywood friends to help Kennedy either. And let me tell you, back then, if you valued your career, you did not say no to Sinatra.
Nation's favorite guy. Everyone wants to back Jack.
Kennedy beat Nixon by the razor-thin margin of only 112,000 votes nationwide. Of course, Kennedy had a little help. There was a little vote rigging in Chicago, courtesy of Mayor Daley and the Cook County Democratic machine. And per Joe Kennedy's request, the Chicago outfit also used its muscle to influence labor unions across the country.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
John F. Kennedy was elected 35th President of the United States and immediately appointed his brother Bobby Attorney General. And this is where the trouble starts. Despite all the favors and pre-election assurances made by Joe Kennedy to Sam Giancana, Bobby Kennedy and his Justice Department immediately declared war on the American Mafia. Indictments, deportations, and a massive crackdown on every organized crime family nationwide. So if helping Kennedy was a personal favor to Sinatra, then it was up to Frank to call off the Kennedy brothers, right? At least that's what the boys back in Chicago thought.
This fucking Bobby, he's out to get the Italians. And I don't care how educated he is. Deep inside, he's still a fucking Mick. And we won him the goddamn election.
We won him the election because your friend Sinatra asked for a favor. Not his goddamn Bobby's in Washington fucking us like a $5 whore. Where's our favor?
And fearing for his own safety, Frank did try. But of course there was nothing Sinatra could do. The election was over, and Bobby Kennedy was absolutely hell-bent on destroying the American Mafia, and in particular, Sam Giancana. But the Kennedys had problems of their own. One problem in particular had platinum blonde hair and just happened to be screwing the President of the United States. You see, Marilyn wasn't satisfied just being the other woman. Like Sinatra, she wanted respectability, the kind you get from being the President's wife. So Marilyn began calling the White House at all hours, usually drunk and high on pills, demanding to talk to her boyfriend, the President. Then Marilyn threatened to go public and started dropping hints about her presidential affair to her friends in the press. First Lady Jackie was irate, and Brother Bobby was worried. But there was one guy in Washington who couldn't have been happier. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover.
We most certainly do not and will not give protection to civil rights workers. In the first place, the FBI is not a police organization. It's purely an investigative organization,
FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover had everyone under surveillance. including the president and his famous mistress. And Hoover was ready, willing, and able to use his compromising files and wiretaps to destroy the Kennedy administration. It was time for the president to completely cut ties with his famous Hollywood friends, but Marilyn wouldn't take the hint. She was not about to walk away quietly, and Bobby Kennedy knew she was a loose cannon, capable of opening her mouth at any time to the press and blowing the whole affair wide open. Then just like that, she was gone. Sam Giancana was an entrepreneurial genius, and Chicago Mafia profits soared under his reign. But Sam was violent, and he was flashy. Two things that didn't sit well with his associates. And his well-publicized romance with singer Phyllis McGuire only made the situation worse.
Does this affect your professional work, being called before a grand jury?
Oh, I certainly hope it won't.
You want to continue with your trio, don't you, Miss McGuire?
Oh, very much so.
Does this mean you're through with Sam Giancana?
No comment.
And with Bobby Kennedy's Justice Department about to drop the hammer on organized crime, something had to be done.
You can't touch Bobby, Sam.
Bullshit. Ain't nobody we can't get to.
What do you think Jack would do if you go after his brother? Do you think he'd just roll over and play dead? You think you'd scare him off? You heard Bobby, and Jack's gonna come after you with everything he's got. Justice, IRS, he'd bring in the fucking National Guard.
Giancana's first inclination was to take out Bobby Kennedy. But if you want to kill a snake, you don't cut off its tail, you cut off its head. So three of the biggest crime bosses in the country met in a backwoods cabin in Paradise, Louisiana, just outside of Baton Rouge. It was Giancana, Carlos Marcello of New Orleans, and Santo Trafficante of Florida. And it was there that they constructed a plan to assassinate the President of the United States. The hit would take place at Chicago's Blackstone Hotel, hosting a Democratic fundraiser in the fall of 1962, 1 year before Dallas.
Les presento Ernesto. Irás con estos hombres. Serás de ellos ahora.
What is this? Don't he speak English?
Yeah, like Al Capone. Ernesto, diles.
I am a refugee from Cuba. I have come to the United States to start a new life and escape from the communists.
The shooter would come from Cuba, so there wouldn't be any link to Giancana.
All right, look. We got him a job at a hotel in Chicago. Now, you told me that he worked in a hotel in Cuba before this whole Castro thing, right? I mean, see?
See, shoeshine.
You brought me a shoeshine boy?
He comes from a good family, Artie. His brothers were brave soldiers. They died for Castro.
Ernesto would be working as a dishwasher. Then he'd join a line of hotel employees waiting to shake hands with the president as he walked through the hotel kitchen. Then, the Cuban would fire the fatal shot. Momo Giancana had all the right connections to make the plan work. Sam could control the entire playing field. The cops working security, the hotel workers union, from the maids to the bellhops to the janitors. Chicago really was the perfect choice, and Giancana had the perfect plan, or so it seemed. But the outfit's consigliere, Tony Accardo, had concerns about possible witnesses in the inevitable aftermath of killing the president in their own backyard.
Anyway, you came to me, so here's my advice. You do this thing, you can't leave no loose ends. No canaries to sing later. Capiche? I don't want no pain in the ass senator asking me on national television if I know who whacked the fucking president. And Sammy, just so we're clear, if this thing goes bad for us, it's gotta mean the boss's head.
Joe Murphy, a veteran Chicago cop and degenerate gambler, already busted out and playing on house credit. And now, he was about to take the deadly bait and forever be on the hook to Sam Giancana.
Last card, gentlemen. Two kings.
10,000.
Honey, I'm coming home.
10,000. You know I ain't got that.
I guess you're out, asshole.
You son of a bitch.
Hey, come on, fellas. What am I, a fucking babysitter? You want to finish his hand or what?
Yeah, I want to finish the hand.
All right, listen, Nicky. Give this guy whatever he needs to finish his fucking hand, and then he's done.
What do you say, Pell? You in or not?
That's a nice hand, but not nice enough.
I don't have it. I have maybe 3,000 in my account, you know, but it's in my wife's name too. I can make payments or something.
Payments? Does this look like a fucking savings and loan to you? You owe us 23 big ones, and you better get the fucking money and get it quick. Otherwise, I'm going to personally take pleasure in chopping off your motherfucking Irish head. You understand me?
Hey, look, I'm a cop. There's things I could do for you.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah? What kind of things? You're nothing but a lowlife, a scumbag, a degenerate gambler. From now on, your fucking badge belongs to me. When I say jump, you say how high. And when I call for you, you motherfucker, you better come running, or I'm gonna come over to your house in the middle of the night, and I'm gonna burn it down with your whole fucking family inside. Are we clear? Hey, don't wag your head to me like a fucking dog. You answer me like a man. Are we clear?
Yeah, we're clear.
Get him out of here.
And now Giancana had his cop, and Officer Joe Murphy would be assigned to the president's hotel security detail. But Murphy's real job? Take out the Cuban right after he kills Kennedy. No canaries would be left to sing.
Ay, Dios mío, perdóname, señorita. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You didn't hurt me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Really, it's okay. You didn't hurt me. You're new here, right? Hi, I'm Mary.
But one life detail Giancana did not account for was the unlikely love triangle that would ultimately derail his best laid plans. When his Cuban assassin Ernesto falls for Mary, the pretty young hotel maid, Giancana's perfect plan begins to unravel.
I moved to Chicago right after her mom died. I got the job at the hotel, and that's where I met Murphy. He was my first real friend in Chicago. He really helped me out a lot in the beginning, and he's kind of looked out for me ever since.
And your father? He is dead?
I don't know. He left when I was 3. Mom always said no, but I know he left because I had polio. I guess he could just never handle having a crippled daughter.
How could a man do such a thing? To leave his wife and baby? In Cuba, the family is everything. If I had a wife and a daughter, I would give up my life to protect them and kill anyone who would harm them. I left my mother and sister alone in Cuba with no one to protect them. My father died when I was a baby. My brothers are both gone. I did not want to leave them, my sister and my mother, but
Underneath Ernesto's meek dishwasher facade beat the heart of a stone killer, born out of Castro's revolution. And Mary just caught a glimpse.
You better button up, Ernesto. This is Chicago. You are going to catch a cold.
But now the question was, would this Cuban assassin have a change of heart when the moment came to kill the president?
I've been seeing Ernesto for a while now.
What do you mean, seeing him?
You know, we go out, he comes over for dinner.
I thought I told you to stay away from him.
You and I are over. We're just friends, that's it. I never should have let this happen from the beginning.
In debt to the mob and an unwilling pawn in the plot to kill the president, the jilted lover Joe Murphy loses control.
Ernesto, are you ready to perform your service for the revolution?
Yes.
You're going to take this gun and hide it underneath your apron. Then you take your place in line with the others and you wait. When you shake the president's hand, you kill him. You ever shot a man before?
Once. During the fighting in Cuba, my brothers kidnapped a policeman. They held him prisoner in a farmhouse away from the city. Every day my sister would bring the policeman food and water. I was only 15 and I wanted to see the prisoner. So one day I'd follow my sister to the farmhouse. She did not know. And when I looked inside, I saw the policeman and my sister together. Do you understand? I did not know what to do. If my brothers found out, I knew that they would beat her, but it wasn't her fault. She was young, growing up without a father. She didn't know better. So I decided to protect her. I went back to the house and found the gun that belonged to my brothers. When she returned, I went back to the farmhouse and I shot him. I shot him 6 times till he was dead. I killed him for disgracing my sister.
You only have time for one shot, Ernesto. So put it right there.
The president's plane will land at O'Hare Airport at 11:15 in the morning. Then he'll go directly to the hotel. He's scheduled to arrive at noon. The Secret Service will get him into the building. They'll take him straight through the kitchen. There'll be a line of hotel workers waiting to shake hands with the president, just long enough for the photographers to snap a few pictures. That's when our boy's got to make his move.
.197.
187, go.
We just hit Congress Parkway. Stand ready.
187, 10-4.
Do we have our cop?
Yeah.
We can't afford to have the Cuban leave that building alive.
Where are we? Am I under arrest?
Where we are, pal, is the end of the line.
You're going to kill me?
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you.
Why?
Because I got no choice. So what did they promise you to kill the president?
They promised that Castro would take good care of my family.
Castro? Man, did you get duped. They set you up, kid. They set me up too. But it don't matter anymore. Now turn around. Do you love her?
Yes.
Me too.
It was America in 1960, when a candidate, a singer, and a gangster secretly held the fate of the nation in their hands.